So Brett Messmer here with Technical Taekwondo. Today's video we're going to go through some basic stretching exercises that we do on the handrail. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend you get one. It's very simple. It is a stair handrail with stair brackets. Our brackets are put together every about 16 inches, so a lot more support than what a standard staircase would, because we're putting a lot more pressure on these than anybody is going up and down stairs. It's mounted comfortably just above belt level high. I also have a lower one mounted for the kids. But I highly recommend you getting one of these in your gym, or if you're training at home, if you have a small place to do this. This is an absolute fantastic thing that we use in a lot of different drills, plus a lot of our stretching, which we're going to go through today. The very first basic stretch that we're going to start with is for your side kicks, your turning kicks, and your roundhouse kicks. We're going to start off nice and close to the bar, both hands on it. Pick one leg up, and we're just going to slide it out. Now, if I'm doing my turning kick, my base foot, my toes are facing towards the wall, okay, and I slide that out, and I want to stretch that out nice and good. Then I back it off, let my muscles relax a little bit, and then slide it back out, getting nice deep into the stretch. Make sure you want to stay relaxed all the way through the exercise. It should go without saying, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. Make sure you're warmed up before you're doing any of these stretches. At least get your blood flowing and your temperature up a little bit. Get a little bit of light sweat going before you really start to stretch. The best time to stretch to gain flexibility is going to be after you've completed your workout, and you can use this as a cool down. It's a fantastic way of doing that. The main benefit for increased flexibility is to prevent injury. Very thing that a lot of people can relate to is if you slip on ice or you trip and whatever and you end up going into the splits. Are you going to rip a muscle, or are you flexible enough you're going to be like, ooh, that was weird, and just get up? Completely different reactions depending on your flexibility, right? So make sure you're warmed up before you're getting into these exercises. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and I'm doing a quick version of this. You want to spend 3 times as much time doing these as what I'm going to do in this video. I'm just trying to teach you the basic techniques. I'm not trying to go into a full stretching routine that's going to take 45 minutes. Okay. So when I'm facing in, when I'm on the handrail, when I kick this foot up, I'm turning my foot over sideways, and I'm kind of gripping the bar with the inside of my foot. Okay, so I'm here, and then I can slide that out. Okay, now as far as I can go. I relax. I kind of enjoy it into it. I back it off, and then go into the second one. Okay. Once I'm here, I can cross my hands over and come to the base leg to stretch that out. But what I want to make sure I'm doing is I'm not laying down on the bar when I'm stretching. I want to squeeze up into it the same way as I would be as if I was kicking. Okay? And then I back it off, rechamber properly, and come down. That's for your basic turning kick. Modify it slightly for your roundhouse kicks and side kicks, even your hook kicks that we've been doing videos on lately. Okay? I turn my base foot out completely. Okay? And now I'm sliding this out. So now I'm stretching the back of the hamstring versus the inside of the leg. Okay? So this position here is going to stretch more of the groin muscle. And if I want to, I can do this on the lower bar. I'm still getting the same stretch. I just got to reach out farther. So full pivot, foot's up, slide it out. Same thing, I want to squeeze into it. Okay, cross over. I want to take my chest down to my knees, stretch that out down there. Walk it back up. Okay, and back it off. And again, to do at least 3 sets of those, that way you can really get into the stretch. The first time you're stretching, you're really just kind of stretching to get rid of tension. So the natural muscle tension that's in the muscles themselves, the first stretch, all that's doing is getting rid of that. The second and third stretch, now we're actually getting into stretching the muscles. if you really want to understand what's going on when you're stretching, is you're actually doing micro tears on the muscle fibers. Okay, so these muscle fibers tear on a microscopic level, and then they grow back and they're just a little bit longer. Over time, you become more flexible. If you pull a muscle, that's when you're no longer doing microscopic tears, you're doing bundles of muscle fibers, and that's a muscle pull. If there's only a few thousand muscle fibers being torn, it's a strain. If it's the entire bundle, that would be a muscle pull, and that's when you hear it pop. You're tearing a greater amount of muscle fibers, and if it happens all at once, you're going to hear it, and it's not a good sound. A strained muscle can take excess of 6 months to completely heal. Normally what people do, they feel good about it. It's healed after about 3 months, but it's not re-strengthened. So they tear it again. And this process is going to repeat until they take the time, once it's healed, to re-strengthen it. That's important if you do have an injury, is to baby it even though it no longer hurts for another couple of months and rebuild it. Get it back to where it should be. Re-strengthen it. Now, next stretch that we're going to be doing is for the back of the leg, coming up for an axe kick. I'm kind of at an angle, but my toe is facing towards my base toe is facing in the same direction as my stretching leg. Okay? And I want to slide that out as far as I can, getting a nice stretch into it, and enjoy that stretch in the back of that quad muscle, stretching that hamstring out. Once I get in here, then I take my chest down to my knee, exhaling, relax, back it off, go a little bit more, repeat, breathe, back it off, and then do the same thing on the other side. So those are a couple basic stretching exercises that you can do with these handrails. Another thing that you can do is some dynamic stretching. You can do this without the handrail. I find the handrail, I can get a little bit more out of it, plus I don't have to worry about falling over or losing balance. If you do not have a handrail and you want to do these exercises at home, you can do this on like the kitchen counter if it's big enough, and your wife doesn't mind having smelly feet on her counter. But I can practice the dynamic stretching where I'm coming straight up. And again, dynamic stretching is different than ballistic stretching. I understand the difference. Dynamic stretching, I'm kind of going up to what I can, and I'm gradually using that energy to lift that leg faster. Ballistic stretching is different. Ballistic stretching is I get into the stretch and I bounce. And bouncing while you're stretching is a great way to injure yourself. Okay? So you want to avoid that. Going the same motion, coming behind, I'm going to look over my shoulder and swinging that leg up behind. I can turn and face the other direction on the handrail. I can also just kick behind. Okay? I can also do a lateral or a side position where I'm here and I'm just bringing that leg up. Generally, I don't pivot the base foot because I want to stretch the groin muscle. Okay. If I want to, I can pivot it and do that one. And to switch, I just switch to the other side. Okay. So those are some basic dynamic stretching that you can do as a warm-up or as a cool-down. A lot of times we'll use those in class as a warm-up just to get the blood flowing and to get things moving. If you're doing that as a warm-up, start off easy. In fact, when I'm teaching class, my voice is quieter on the first half. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So it gradually builds up, and my voice gradually builds with it. That way my voice can kind of tell the students how much effort they should put into it. Okay? Not as big deal for the kids who are like rubber bands, but when you have adults in class, they need to understand you start off easy and work your way up. Okay? those are some basic stretching exercises that we do using the handrail. I hope it helped. Hopefully you guys will invest and get your own handrail, and once you realize how valuable this is for basic stuff in class. Until next time, God bless and keep on kicking.